Congratulate Furman. When you get in the NCAA tournament and win a conference championship, that's a heck of a feat. What's great about the tournament is there's a neat field. And the one thing that I found through the years is you got to recognize that there's only going to be one team at the end. So typically you're going to end with a loss unless you run the table. And so congratulations to their coach and the staff and how they play. They're a really good football team and a great program, and we're excited that we won the game and able to move forward. So at this time, I'll answer any questions anybody might have.
Coach, what did you do in the second half to get things rolling for your team?
Some subtle adjustments, but not a lot. We felt like we were close, on a couple stops on defense, and offensively, some minor adjustments, and then becoming a little bit more acclimated to some of their stunning. And then I think that the other thing that occurred was, our ability to run the football. That had a huge impact in the game. And they were still, at the beginning portion of the game, we were able to throw the ball really well. Well, that was because they had so many guys deployed at the line of scrimmage. Well, at the end of the game, we were just still able to run the football. It's great to see Marcus Williams come up with a big pick six. Anytime you do that, that has a huge impact in the game. And so played better in the second half, but we were pretty daggone close in the first. I will say this game's closer than what the score indicated, though. I mean, if you look at how Furman had got down, I think down to the one a couple times. So shows a lot of resolve and determination about our defense.
What is about your guys at the goal line? How are they able to do that?
Goal line plays are difficult to practice, Jeff, and we always do a lot of preparation for that, and really we have not had to be in a goal line defense a whole lot this year, and so we've practiced it way more than what we've used it, and maybe that's an advantage because there's just not a lot of reps that you have on tape, and so opponent's preparation may be a little bit different. And then the last play, I mean, it's all football, but they had a miscue down there that certainly was helpful, and it's better to be lucky than good.
Talk about the sequence of getting the field goal in the last play of the first half and then taking the opening drive and scoring.
Well, I think that, football maybe is not as big a game as momentum as other sports, but certainly momentum comes into play. That was a drive, a 2-minute drive that Coach Vegan really dialed up really well, and we squeezed about every second out of it. I thought Brock's done a great job managing. We took one more shot where maybe in years past we'd have said, hey, let's go ahead and kick the field goal. And Brock is such a savvy veteran, even though it was an incomplete pass, there's still enough time. And then for us to come up with 3 points, that just gives you a real bounce going in the locker room. And we've always been a really good second half football team and been really good in the fourth quarter. So starting out fast in the second half had a big impact.
Coach, the jet sweep came back for the first time since probably the championship game. How big was that with Ryan running today?
Well, it was great, and that's a difficult play to defend. Now, however, when everybody's running it and you run it all the time, and that's kind of the in vogue offense, that play's fairly easy to defend. But when you're trying to get ready for somebody that's going to smash you in the mouth, and then you're able to do that with Ryan, that was certainly helpful. What it does do, it's a running play that gets us the ball to a different player and stretches the field. And so you not only have the makeup of a hard physical game where you're able to get movement at the line of scrimmage, now you have a lateral game with some speed. And I think coaches are doing a good job utilizing the weapons that we do have.
Do you know going into the game that Ryan is going to have to step up in sort of a versatile role?
Well, there's a lot of plays that we have, and that play sheet the other day is amazing. One day Viggs was in there, and I looked at that, and goodness gracious, I mean, it was a long, long list. I said, well, what is that? Well, that's all the plays we've had on our game plan sheet. And I don't think the CIA could break all that code. So we've got a lot of plays, and, they just been pulled out at the right time.
Coach, Marcus coming back, how big of a difference was that today?
You know what? Having another defensive back, one, is really helpful. And then two, his presence on the field. I mean, this is great to see number one out there. He's a fourth-year starter and made a lot of big plays. And then, what capped it all off was his signature pick six. And, to say that Marcus is back, I think would be a little bit of an overstatement. But you know, it's great to see him out there and to have that big play like that. It's great. It's going to give him more confidence. He was able to work through it with the knee. He had no problem with that, and hopefully he'll be stronger and faster this next week.
When he comes up with interceptions, do you just turn around and start looking for the extra point unit?
Yeah, right when he picked it, I go, he's gone. You know, but the only question you just didn't know was, okay, is he back to optimal speed and whether somebody could catch him? But well, I'm sure he's broken the record. He has to broke the record.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's just right.
Craig, weather was a topic of discussion today. You ever wonder what that game would have been like outside?
I'm thankful we're inside.
Coach, how can you attribute all the second half success? I mean, you've done it all year long,
Mhm.
10-7 going into
Mhm.
half, and just kind of in 8 minutes completely changed the
Yeah.
whole outcome of the game.
You know, I appreciate you bringing that up because we addressed that in the locker room, and that's part of a culture that is instilled here, and that comes about through a lot of dedication and work. You know, a strength and conditioning staff. You know, the last drive against Kansas State where they're having to call timeout and guys are cramping up. Our guys are out there on the field, and our players, they rally around that. That's our ace in the hole. They know at the tail end that football is a physical game, and conditioning comes into play. And along with the conditioning, to be able to be disciplined, coaches can say all they want to. It doesn't matter how much we know. What matters is how much our players know, and can they execute it, and especially can they execute it in the fourth quarter when people are tired.
Anybody get nicked up at all, Coach, or is everybody think they're pretty good?
We're a little bit concerned about Zach Johnson, but I think he got a green light that he was okay. But no one during the middle of the game where the sports medicine people came up and said he can't go.
What happened to Johnson?
And they thought it was something with his shoulder, but he's okay. Yeah, which was good.
What do you know about Coastal Carolina?
Well, their defensive coordinator and I used to work together at Nebraska. I know it's probably a lot warmer there than it is in Fargo. I also know that their head coach is a billionaire. And
Billionaire?
yeah, yeah.
Did you get a sense it was ratcheted up today like you thought it would be?
Yeah. Playoff times are fun. You know what happens, Dom, when you get in the middle of a game, you know, you're in headsets and everything. We appreciate the crowd, but sometimes you're in the middle, you're just rolling. But yeah, we appreciate all the fans that showed up today and brought their voices.
So a new opponent, do Sundays get that much more longer and intense? And you have no idea about what they run in it and stuff like that?
Pardon me, Jeff?
With a new opponent, do Sundays get a lot more intense and longer?
You know, somewhat, but you know, the Valley's pretty diversified to a certain degree, but there's flavors from different leagues, and you know, we've certainly been looking at tape from all kinds of different opponents.
Does Coastal's win surprise you in Montana, especially the conditions?
No.